When we talk about the need for all people in America to be treated equally and with dignity, we have got to deal with some hard realities. And those realities include the fact that today, if you can believe it, and I know you can, 1 in 4 black males born today can expect to spend time in prison during their lifetime unless we change that dynamics. This is an unspeakable tragedy, and this country can no longer ignore that. Blacks are in prison at 6 times the rate of whites. A report by the Department of Justice found that blacks were 3 times more likely to be searched during a traffic stop compared to white motorists. African Americans are twice as likely to be arrested and almost 4 times as likely to experience the use of force during encounters with police. 13%, and this is an extraordinary figure, and I think not an accident. 13% of African American men have lost the right to vote due to felony convictions. Can't vote, can't participate in the democratic political process. Now, in my view, we need some major changes in criminal justice in America. And as President of the United States, I promise you, my Justice Department will be vigorous in fighting all forms of discrimination in every area of our life, not only in police matters, but in housing, in credit, in every area that impacts minority populations. Across our nation, as all of you know, and we see almost every day, too many African Americans and other minorities find themselves subjected to a system that treats citizens who have not committed crimes as if they were criminals. A growing number of communities throughout this country do not trust the police, and police have become disconnected from the communities they are sworn to protect. When I was mayor of Burlington, Vermont, the largest city in the state, one of the things that we did, and I believe this very strongly, is we moved toward community policing. Community policing means that police are part of the community, not seen as oppressors in the community, and that is the direction that we've got to move. Sandra Bland, Michael Brown, Rekia Boyd, Eric Garner, Walter Scott, Freddie Gray, Tamir Rice, Samuel DuBost. We know their names. Each of them died unarmed at the hands of police officers or in police custody. Let us all be very clear. Violence and brutality of any kind, particularly at the hands of law enforcement sworn to protect and serve their communities, is unacceptable and must not be tolerated. We must reform our criminal justice system. Black lives do matter, and we must value black lives. We must move away from the militarization of police forces. You've all seen on TV. There's heavy-duty equipment. It looks like they're invading the city. True. You know, it's like they're going to war. And that is not the signal that police departments should be sending around this country. Police should be part of the community, not an oppressor force. We need a Justice Department which takes the lead in working with states and localities to train police officers. Force should be the last resort, not the first resort. For people who have committed crimes that have landed them in jail, there needs to be a path back from prison. The recidivism rate in this country is incredibly high. People go to jail, we send them out of jail, they have no jobs, they have no money, and then we are just shocked when they end up in jail. We must end the over-incarceration of nonviolent young Americans who do not pose a serious threat to our society. It is an international embarrassment that we have more people in jail than any other country. It is an obscenity that we stigmatize so many young Americans with a criminal record for smoking marijuana, but oddly enough, not one major Wall Street executive has been prosecuted for causing the near collapse of our entire economy. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. We need to end prisons for profit. I do not want corporations making money and more money based on how many people we lock up. The measure of serious and effective law enforcement should not be how many people go to jail, but how many people we can keep out of jail. We need to invest in drug courts and medical and mental health interventions. Mental health, what an issue. So many of our people in jail are dealing with mental health issues, and I can tell you as a senator, I get calls, and I think others do as well. Senator, my brother, I am worried what he's going to do to himself, to other people. We've searched desperately for affordable mental health care. We can't find it. That's a story going on all over America. That is a story that has to change. Furthermore, we have to take a hard look, and the tragedy last month in South Carolina reminds me of that so strongly, that there are still those who seek to terrorize, and they are terrorists, the African American community with violence and intimidation. Some of us thought that that had ended 50 years ago, but it hasn't. We need to make sure that federal resources are available to crack down on the illegal activities of hate groups. There are hundreds of groups in this country whose sole reason for existence is hatred of African Americans, hatred of immigrants, hatred of Jews, hatred of Catholics. That has got to end, and the federal government must be active in ending that.